Hey, Lunamoth here. Okay, so on 11/19, Wednesday, I heard the song Hang Down Your Head, Tom Dooley. Um, it's been a really long time since I've heard that song. Uh, it was like, it came in my head and then it was out. I wouldn't say that it was stuck in my head because I couldn't remember the lyrics. And so, like, I acknowledged the song and was like, okay, like, I hear that, but I don't know what that song is. I don't remember it. And then tonight, it came back in my head enough to where I could write it down and then look it up to get what the song is. So it's Hang Down Your Head, Tom Dooley, and it's usually most famously by Kingston Trio. I'm going to read a little bit of the lyrics. It says, throughout history, there have been many songs written about the eternal triangle. This next one tells the story of a Mr. Grayson, a beautiful woman, and a condemned man named Tom Dooley. When the sun rises tomorrow, Tom Dooley must hang. Hang down your head, Tom Dooley, hang down your head and cry. Hang down your head, Tom Dooley, poor boy, you're bound to die. I met her on the mountain. There I took her life, met her on the mountain, stabbed her with my knife. The rest of the lyrics basically say, hang down your head, Tom Dooley, boy, you're bound to die. So when I was researching this, it's actually about um, like a lover's triangle. It's about Tom Dooley, his lover named Laura Foster, and his other lover, who was her cousin, named Anne Milton. And basically, they found Laura Foster's body. She was murdered. She was stabbed to death with a really large knife. And then Tom Dooley was convicted of her murder and hanged on May 1st in 1868. So when I was researching this, there's three ways that I can go with this. The first one obviously has to do with some kind of warning about murderous, like, famous lovers, because this song became one of the most famous, like, murder punishment songs, and kind of like a first of its kind. And a quote that I thought was just, like, really cocky of this man. When he was about to be hanged, Tom Dooley says, "Gentlemen, do you see this hand? I didn't harm a hair on the girl's head." Um, so this could be about some kind of, like, murder um, done by, like, a famous or well-known figure. I see someone kind of, like, standing on a platform talking down to people. Okay, and then there is Tom Doula. Okay, so Dooley is actually, his original name is D-U-L-A. It's pronounced Doula, like D-O-U-L-A, like a doula, as in a woman who helps a pregnant mother during pregnancy, coaches her during childbirth, and counsels and supports during postpartum. So the postpartum period is about 6 weeks, usually, and there is something called postpartum depression that a lot of people go through. So let's see. Postpartum depression. Some of the signs and symptoms: sadness, hopelessness, low self-esteem, guilt, feeling of being overwhelmed, sleep and eating disturbances, inability to be comforted, exhaustion, emptiness, inability to experience pleasure from activities usually found enjoyable, social withdrawal, low or no energy, becoming easily frustrated, feeling inadequate in taking care of the baby, and decreased sex drive. So it's a type of clinical depression that can affect women after childbirth. And it's caused, or can be caused, by a few different things, such as dramatic drop in hormones, changes in blood pressure. Honestly, I think it's like an emotional state that's brought on by, you have this living thing inside of you for 9 months. You nurture it, you care for it. It is a part of you. It's inside of you. And there's all this buildup, and then this thing is born, and suddenly it is no longer inside of you. It's something outside of you. And you have to figure out how to maneuver this and take care of this and deal with this when you really have no clue. It's like everything just got real, basically. Okay, so what does this have to do with? It has to do with the new earth, the birthing of the new earth, and the postpartum depression that will inevitably follow. This has been on my heart, on my mind for a couple weeks now, actually, postpartum depression having to do with the birthing of the new earth. Because it's not going to be all fun. It's not going to be all yay and love and giggles and rainbows and puppy cuddles. Like, no, it's not like that. It's painful. It's traumatic. Childbirth is one of the things that no one wants to really go through because it's undescribable. I have never given birth to a child, but I can only imagine. I've seen and been there for some very traumatic births that my friends have had to go through. And I'm going to say that, yeah, I could understand how postpartum depression would occur from something like that. There's the upswing, and then there's the swing back where it hits you, and you have to deal with it. And I'm proposing that there's going to be a period of time, or there is, what we're entering now, is a period of postpartum depression after the birth of the new earth, the new age, and the death of the old way. It's not like you can shove the child back up into the woman and have it sit there again. Like, that's not going to happen. Not going to work, unfortunately. So, I really, truly believe that it's mostly about this postpartum depression kind of thing. And because I've heard the word doula 2 other times this week, or just in the past day, actually, and then found out that Tom Dooley is actually pronounced Tom Doula, and then it kind of all tied together. But if you look around, people on Earth are experiencing vast amounts of depression, what people would like to call mental illness, post-traumatic stress disorder, trauma, violence, you name it, it's there. And these, to me, look like signs and symptoms of what we could call a birthing process and postpartum depression, where it's like, well, what do we do now? Okay, we have this thing, what do we do now? As much as people and I want to sit there and be like, oh, I follow God and it's so great and everything is perfect and it's just blissful and perfect all the time. It's not. It's not. In fact, things got increasingly substantially worse once I started following God. And I can relate to all of those symptoms that I just read off on that list. So I'm proposing that depression is normal. Depression is dealing with a loss, a grief. It's anger and grief turned inward, and it has to do with like losing something that you can't get back. So there's that postpartum depression. I might have more on that later. The other thing is Tom DeLay, who is a former congressman, And he was in a few scandals involving state elections and corporate money. He identifies Republican. He's a major backer of the GOP, and he's been in some kind of embarrassing scandals. And there is a version of the song called "Hang Down Your Head, Tom Delay." It's actually really embarrassing for him. So I will post that, and it's basically just talking about his scandal and how it's kind of embarrassing for him. So there might be something coming up with him. And then there is the "Hang Down Your Head, Tom Turkey" version of the song, which is the Thanksgiving version. And it says, "Hang down your head, Tom Turkey, hang down your head and cry. Hang down your head, Tom Turkey, poor bird, you're bound to die." You get the gist. I will post the lyrics to that just for a kick for you guys. And so this could also be talking about something ominous as far as Thanksgiving time, some kind of event around Thanksgiving, some kind of change around Thanksgiving, or just like the death of the holiday of Thanksgiving itself, because it's based on a lot of stuff that kind of falls apart when you research it. I'm not saying like historical facts, and just the premise of Thanksgiving. Anyway, I'm not going to get too far into that, but let me just, as a little Thanksgiving gift, I'll read the lyrics. "I reckon by tomorrow I know just where I'll be, on a silver platter served up with brown gravy. Hang down your head, Tom Turkey, hang down your head and cry. Hang down your head, Tom Turkey, poor bird you're gonna fry. By this time tomorrow the axe is gonna fall. This is what I get for living here at Butterball. Hang down your head, Tom Turkey, dumb bird, you couldn't fly. I know I'm a turkey's what I am. How I wish those pilgrims decided to have ham. Hang down your head and cry. Well, hang down your head, breast or a thigh. Make sure to pull my wishbone, it never brought me luck, and write upon my tombstone, you people really suck. Hang down your head, Tom Turkey, hang down your head and cry. Hang down your head, Tom Turkey, poor bird, you're gonna die. Poor bird, you're gonna fry. Dumb bird, you couldn't fly." Okay, so there's that. And I will, of course, post the actual song of "Hang Down Your Head, Tom Dooley." And if you have any ideas, comments, feedback, please leave it below. In case I don't see you, good afternoon, good evening, and good night.